This is the plaintiff, Monique Felton. She says the defendant is her ex-boyfriend, and she foolishly put a car in her name for him to drive. He crashed it and still owes $1,000 on it. He refuses to pay her the $1,000 he owes because he's mad she cheated on him. She just wants what she's owed so her credit doesn't get adversely affected more than it already has, and is suing him today for the money she's most rightfully owed. This is the defendant, Jaquan Himes. He says he registered and insured the car in his name because they were a couple at the time, but he unfortunately got into a bad wreck in it, and it was totaled. He doesn't owe the plaintiff $1,000 because the car was just as much hers as it was his, and it was his insurance that paid the $10,000 for the totaled car, so he owes nothing. He's accused of not treating an ex right.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff put a car in her name for her now ex-boyfriend. And guess what? He stiffed her after he claimed that she was cheating on him. But the defendant says the car was totaled and his insurance paid. It's the case of, you're a cheater, so I'm not paying for the beater.
You're welcome.
Okay, you took out a car loan in a guy's name, huh?
Yes.
Why?
At the time, he was my boyfriend, and he was starting a new job at Amazon, and he needed transportation. So when he tried to go...
Why couldn't he just get a loan on his own name?
He went, and the payments were too high. So when he did my name, it was lower. And
why were the payments high? Bad credit or no credit?
I think no credit.
No credit or bad credit?
I got credit. It wasn't bad.
So why was it better in her name?
Because I had just started my job.
So you put it in your name, and what happens?
I put it in my name. We broke up about December.
Didn't see that. Like, what do you mean you broke up? That can't happen.
Well,
and then you got a loan that in somebody else's name of how much?
The loan was from Credit Acceptance, and it was for $23,000. For the car, for the Kia Optima, but since it had got totaled, they didn't pay full price for the car because...
Well, no, they never do.
Yeah.
Right. So you take out the loan what month and year?
July 2018.
Okay, so July 2018 is when the car was purchased and the loan was entered into.
Yes.
Then there's an accident. When does the accident happen?
January.
When did the accident happen?
The morning of January 30th, my birthday.
January 30th in 2019. So, and you folks broke up a month and a half earlier, sometime before Christmas.
Yes.
All right, what happened in the accident?
I went out the day before my birthday, had a few drinks. The weather was bad, and I got in an accident. I ran into a pole.
Did you get charged with a DUI?
Yes.
And you ran into a what?
A pole.
Oh, jeez. And it totaled the car?
Yeah.
Were you injured?
Yeah.
What were your injuries?
My right leg.
Is that a complete sentence?
No,
right leg, what?
I injured my right leg.
How did you injure it?
I fractured my right knee, I fractured my ankle, and like my hip, I have a plate and 6 screws.
You're kidding me. You're lucky to be alive.
Definitely.
And so is everybody else who was on that road that day. Is it your first DUI?
First, yeah.
Okay. All right, so then you had insurance on the car,
Mm-hmm.
and the insurance paid how much?
$10,000. A little over $10,000.
And how much was the loan? The loan was more than that.
Yeah, the loan was more than that.
Right, because that's what happens when you borrow money to. So when you said the purchase was $23,000, I presume he put a bunch of money down or something. That's how the loan was only $13,000. How much was the loan? $13,000?
Like, yeah, the loan was $23,000. The car loan was $23,000.
Who paid off $10,000 of the loan? Did you pay off in chunks?
No.
The insurance paid.
If the insurance only paid $10,000 and the loan was $23,000,
it wasn't.
There should be right.
It was like $13,400.
Right. The loan had to be $13,000. So how much was the purchase of the car?
It was payments. We was paying $351 a month.
Right, and if you bought it in July, you had only made 6 payments, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So in any event, the insurance ends up paying most everything, except there is still a balance.
Right.
And who's going to pay that balance?
So would you put a car in your boyfriend or girlfriend's name? What do you think?
I don't think so, because you never know, in case you broke up, who's gonna pay the car.
But it would be the person you're with. Would you ever trust that person and put the car in your name?
Sometimes. You know, it depends on the person.
That's it. Well, what kind of person needs you to put your car, her car in your name?
Right. So I probably wouldn't do it. I probably wouldn't do it.
Boy, I didn't even answer the question you said. I didn't know I was this convincing. It's amazing going inside the courtroom.
To my understanding, they was gonna pay the total of the car. I didn't know.
Yeah, they pay the total value of the car.
Right.
Now, that may or may not be the total amount of your loan. In other words, what happens to people is they sometimes get upside down because they borrowed too much and there's too much depreciation on the car. Now, there is a loan out there with her name on it with, it's not quite $1,000, it's like $937 that's still due on it.
Which she allowed.
Who's gonna pay that?
Was she allowed to get to that much?
As opposed to what? What was it before?
When I was told, so after my accident, when I was in the hospital and she came to see me in February, mind you, I was in custody, so I couldn't make no phone contacts, no nothing. So if the payment would have been made that January, that $351 payment, it wouldn't have been any balance after the insurance paid the $10,000.
So why didn't you pay it?
Who?
You. Why didn't you make the payment?
I couldn't do anything. I was in a hospital.
You can make a phone call and say, here's my PIN number, make a payment.
I couldn't have no phone. I was in custody. I was arrested.
Well, then you missed a payment. Okay. How's that her letting, so yeah, you got arrested for a DUI. So how is that her letting your payment go? That's you letting your payment go.
I'm not saying that I let the payment go, but the insurance people is telling me that they're going to cover the total loss of the car.
What happens in February?
What I was explaining.
I'm sorry, you were explaining how if she had just paid it in January, why should she pay anything?
I'm saying if that payment in January was paid at $350 in January, it wouldn't have got to $900.
Well, then why didn't you pay it in February? Then it wouldn't have got to $937 either. You're complaining that she let it get that high. How is she letting it get that high? How is that not you letting it get that high? In other words, there is a deficit for her she's not supposed to have. She's not supposed to have her bills coming in her name because you're supposed to pay things. So the only reason that this is happening to her is because you drove drunk. And somehow this is supposed to hurt her to the tune of $937?
The car was a mutual car. We both used the car. When we got the car was for us, not just me.
What happened after you broke up?
When we broke up, the car was registered and insured in my name. She didn't have no license.
But was it a mutual car after you broke up?
She didn't have no license at the time. So of course,
was it a mutual car after you broke up? If she didn't have a license, how was it a mutual car?
Even afterwards, I still drove her to work, picked her up from work,
great.
even in January.
That's great. So if there was a car accident that wasn't your fault, I could understand what you're saying. What there was a totaling of a car because you drove drunk. So why should she partake in any of it? Let's assume it's a car for the two of you. You're both the owners of the car. Let's go with your theory. Mm-hmm. You're both the owners of the car, which you're not. But you're both the owners of the car, okay? If you do something that's totally your bad, like, let me think of an example. Drive drunk and crash and total the car, how is she responsible at all for it? The answer, sir, is that she is not. How much was it in January?
The car.
No, how much was, once they paid, by the way, when did the insurance pay? February, March, when did they pay?
Insurance payment, credit.
The insurance payment is in March. It's March 11th. They pay like $9,546?
Yes.
Almost from Jump Street, the amount that's left over is 900 and something. So in any event, I'll tell you what's not gonna happen. What's not going to happen is she's not going to be responsible for you having a DUI, crashing the car, and being upside down on a loan that was for your benefit that you're supposed to pay 100% of. You were never making car payments, right?
No, I never.
Ever, not one penny of it. So do you have the balance now? What the balance is now? Is it the $937.42?
No, he just had me call the people. It is $1,097.03.
Let me see that, because I don't want you to be out anymore. So the current balance right now is $1,097. It was 900 and something in April. There were all these opportunities for you to pay it and have it be at the 900. Now it's up to $1,097.30. That is what I'm ordering you to pay her. Verdict for the plaintiff, $1,097.30.
So the plaintiff is going to get back $1,090. You, sir, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I guess, if they say so.
What the judge says goes, you know?
Yeah, she say so.
She say so.
Yeah.
Okay, you're on the hook for it. You owe her $1,090. All right, Miss Felton. Well, you're smiling. Yes. Okay, you feel better now?
Yes.
Are you still having, you know? No, it's nothing.
Nothing.
It's over.
Over.
But the car?
Yes.
It's gone.
Gone.
History. Okay. Very good. Well, thank you very much. Okay. Harvey?
I mean, look, Doug, it is a terrible idea to put a car, a phone, or anything like that in your name for somebody else, for even if it's your boyfriend or girlfriend. It's very difficult to undo a mess when it happens, and there's a reason that they can't put it in their name, and usually it's bad credit.